And here's another form of protest that I want to emphasize. It is radiation monitoring or radiation measuring. I call it the measuring movement. This is a new movement of the people that emerged shortly after Fukushima accident. The authorities were neglecting to give people the precise data other than repeating their safety phrases. So the people got together and exchanged information and decided that they needed their own measurements. It is a movement for survival. Many groups were formed on neighborhood basis, and many of the participants are parents. There are several hundred of such groups now present in Japan. And what they do is to monitor radioactivity in their neighborhood and record them, publicize the data on the internet, in their community bulletin boards, and so on. Some groups also measure radioactivity in food, which is a little more complex and then involves a lot of expensive facility. But just because the food that are sold in the market is set with a very high, very weak standard for the radioactive material that's contained. And this kind of autonomous projects became necessary precisely because of the weak measures taken by the state. For instance, setting the maximum allowance of radiation doses 20 times higher than international standards. In addition, the state will not easily acknowledge the causality from the time of the accident to the rise of symptoms. For this precise reason, people are aware that they have to record their present condition. And some groups of scientists that are critical to nuclear power, they have begun their full-hearted investigations right at the wake of the accident. Like the struggles of Minamata disease, which is an industrial pollution that happened in the 50s, and Chernobyl radiation, the present struggle will definitely be long-term. Here I'm going to quote an independent critic in Tokyo, Yoshihiko Ikegami. He wrote in May 2011. In fact, during the 2 months, we have studied desperately and come to understand everything about nuclear power. Beginning from the structure of nuclear reactor to the meaning of the units such as becquerel and Sievert that indicate the level of radiation. This is a study neither for mere desire to learn nor a self-improvement, but for survival. Unless we truly understand these numbers, we will risk our lives. The precise sense of crisis has motivated us, and we have come to learn the historical process through which nuclear power was introduced, the ugliness of the mining sites for uranium in Africa and Australia, and the cruel working conditions for the workers at the power plants. Now, all of these situations that have been heretofore known only among a small group of specialists now are shared widely. And I want to talk about some tools for the measuring movements. One is Geiger counter, like the one I have over here. This came from Japan. I'm very grateful that it reads very low in this room right here. And so this is a tool for the measuring movement. People bought this Geiger counter, usually bigger than this. In the beginning, they try to find them on the internet auction like eBay and stuff, and many of them came from Ukraine because of the Chernobyl accident. They had so many produced in Ukraine. And today, Japanese manufacturers make some decent Geiger counters like this one. So they have become a necessity for many households and individuals in Eastern Japan. The rise of measuring movement was probably due to fear and anxiety. But today, it does not seem that these are the only reasons. Not just because babies will be born with deformation and people will get cancer. Now, nobody knows what the consequence will be. But the driving force of the measuring movement is the anger and desire to live. Since the day one of the Fukushima nuclear accident. Since the day one, we discovered precisely the way authorities sorry. We discovered that the people abandoned and will be made to subjects of nuclear experiments. The monstrous apparatus of control and oppression revealed their true face in front of us. One of the existing projects is called Tokyo Sandbox Project. The group was formed in Tokyo, and they take measurements of every single sandbox in the playground in the Tokyo metro area, which is home of 40 million people. They discovered several spots in the area that are highly contaminated. Other groups found similar spots, and according to this data, people began relocating. According to the report, the process of radiation measuring is very, very diverse. It is precisely because of the characteristics of radioactive materials in various environments. So even with the measuring projects, it is difficult to come up with the solid data to manage and to follow. Adjustment to a new situation is always necessary. The measuring movement does not follow any existing system or ideology of social movement. I think this measuring project is a new form of resistance. Also, the presence of, I want to stress that the presence of women is very prominent in a lot of movements. For example, a mother is tweeting the day's measurements and analyzing how radioactive cesium have traveled from Fukushima. Considering the very fact that the accident clearly defined the social system which has been controlling and oppressing the people, we probably do not have to ask why women are the forefronts of the movement. Nor do we need to make any spectacle out of mothers' struggle to save children. I want to conclude my talk by quoting Shiro Yabu, a radiation monitoring activist who moved from Tokyo to Western Japan with his daughter. After the rain, I go to a city park with my 6-year-old daughter. She jumps onto the chin-up bar. I notice that it is dripping wet.
After the rain, I go to the city park with my 6-year-old daughter. She jumps onto the chin-up bar. I notice that it is dripping wet. Lazily swinging back and forth on the bar, she